CrossFit in one word for me is community.
So if I had to describe CrossFit in one word, I would say challenging.
If I had to describe CrossFit in one word, I would say community.
If I had to describe CrossFit in one word, it would be improvement.
I'm Kelly Harrington.
And I'm Bradley Harrington.
We own CrossFit Albemarle in North Carolina. We've been a CrossFit affiliate since 2012, and Brad and I have owned the gym since 2022. So when we first took over the gym, my biggest goal as far as our community was simply to keep it going. But I quickly realized that I could make this into something so much bigger than it already was. So now our whole mission is maximizing quality of life. Whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your 70s, whatever maximizing quality of life means to you, raising your grandkids above your head or competing in local competitions, we want to touch as many lives as possible because we've seen the change that it can make in not only our lives, but our parents' lives, our other family members' lives, and other people that we love.
So another big reason, and one thing we were excited about when we were able to buy and purchase and own the gym was being able to use the foundation that we have here to reach outside the community, outside these walls, and help many local businesses, support them like their members that support us, and just being able to give back to that community outside the gym has been something that's been really cool for both of us to be able to do, and that helps not only our members but also the local community here as well.
So if someone has never heard of CrossFit, how I would explain it would be that it is ever changing. We focus on functional movement, so things that you need to be able to do in everyday life. And your intensity level is completely up to you. How hard you work is going to be based off of how you feel that day, and that's going to vary from individual to individual. So we just ask that you give us what you have for that day, and you're going to be successful. So if someone were to ask me what makes CrossFit different than other places that you can go and work out, my first initial thought is, well, the community, but that's actually not it. So the community is fantastic, and we have a community here that is unlike any other. However, the methodology of CrossFit and the coaching is what actually sets us apart from other places that you could go and work out.
So I would say the biggest common misconception with CrossFit is that everybody thinks it's just lifting really heavy weights as fast as you can until you get sick and throw up, and that's actually not what happens in an every day-to-day CrossFit class.
So on the flip side of the common misconceptions is what you actually see in a CrossFit class is the coaches meeting all of the athletes where they're at and where they're at that day. So whether you slept bad the night before, whether you've got a lot going on at home, everybody's situation is very different. Everybody's ages are very different. Everybody's skill level is very different, but we're here to meet you where you're at. Our needs differ by degree, not kind. So wherever you're at, it's never too early, it's never too late to walk into a CrossFit affiliate. A beautiful thing about CrossFit is that all kinds of people show up. Anybody can do CrossFit, but what we typically see is the folks that hang around and that are really, really successful with CrossFit are people that are willing to be coached and people that are willing to work hard. And what we find is that if you're willing to work hard in here, you're willing to work hard with anything else in life, whether that's with your families, whether that's your job, anything. So it can be for anybody if you're willing to be coached and willing to work hard.
So one of the cool things about our community here is how our members support one another and are there for one another on a day-to-day basis inside our gym walls, but also we get to see that outside those gym walls at things like competitions. There's numerous competitions we go to throughout the course of the year, and we'll have a good number of athletes who come. They're not even competing, but they just come to watch, cheer everybody on, and it's just a good hangout and a fun time for everybody. And then obviously inside the gym each day, whether it's a 5-minute burner workout or a 20-minute long Metcon, you'll have from the first person that finishes the workout to the last person, everybody's there cheering each other on, giving out high fives at the end of the workout. Also with a little bit of friendly competition added in, of course. And it's just good to see that each day. And then the other thing I think is cool is when a member misses a couple classes in a row, it's not just the owner or me or the coach that's reaching out to them, but it's multiple members of the class they're typically at, saying, hey, where you been at? Hope everything's okay. Like, get back in the gym soon. And that's just cool to see from just an organic kind of community standpoint, that they hold each other accountable and they like seeing people when they come to class.
There's so many moments at the gym. I can't narrow down like a specific favorite or anything like that, or a specific favorite situation, but we've just had so many scenarios at CrossFit Albemarle where someone comes into the gym for the first time unable to do certain things, and it could be as extreme as not being able to sit and stand, or not being able to get on the ground and get up. So specifically, we've had a BoneFit member that when he first came in could not get on and off a rower, or could not lay down on the floor and get up, or sit and stand without assistance. And to see his transformation 3 years later, he can do burpees. He can, I'm gonna tear up a bit. He can walk up the pulpit at church and give his sermon or sing with the choir, whereas he was having a hard time doing that before. And again, that just falls back to our mission of maximizing quality of life, and that means something different to every person in the gym.
So to add to that with the connection piece and the transformations, from the younger side of things, it's really cool to see these kids that we have that are teenagers or high schoolers, or they're coming right out of high school and going into college, to see the amount of confidence they can gain in themselves just from working out and learning that they can do hard things and challenging themselves each day to learn new things. That's really cool to see, as well as the connection piece of just our members as a whole. We have anywhere from a 20-year-old kid in college to a 40, 50, 60-year-old dad who works a full-time job, and their connection amongst themselves is super cool to see from class to class and day to day.
So biggest thing I would tell people, or biggest piece of advice for folks that feel intimidated or nervous about trying CrossFit for the first time, come as you are. You do not have to be fit before you come into CrossFit. You do not have to be any certain way or fit any certain stereotype. Come as you are. If you are having a hard time getting out of bed, or if you are just wanting to improve your athletic performance, come as you are. Our coaches are going to meet you where you're at, and you are going to see results. So the biggest change I think we see in people after they've been coming for several months is confidence. And kind of like going back to what Brad said earlier, seeing people's level of confidence rise within themselves, their confidence in things that they can lift, how much they can lift, their confidence socially, whether it's out in public or simply in our community inside the gym. Whenever you see someone's confidence level rise, you see their posture change. You see the look on their face change when they walk into the gym. You see the way they interact with people change. And I would say that is probably the biggest thing that we see improve within folks within the first few months that they give CrossFit a go.
So CrossFit, to me, beyond just the fitness aspect, what it means to me is it's something I enjoy doing, but a big part of it is that I get to come in each and every day I come to the gym and see some really good friends that Kelly and I have made through this whole process of owning the gym, and get to hang out with them really for an hour. Also, it means that if the hardest thing I'm doing on a day-to-day basis is the 1 hour workout at CrossFit, then I know I can handle almost anything else that comes my way that day, whether it's teaching a kid at school, to coaching a soccer team, to having to give somebody some tough news about something they have going on. So there's all kinds of things that CrossFit means more than just the fitness aspect, and that's just for me, some things that really sum it up well.
So CrossFit outside of fitness can give us so much more. And if you think about it, the things that everyday life calls you to do, whether it's taking care of an elderly loved one, or whether it's being a mom or a dad, or whatever the case may be, there's so many things that we could potentially miss out on if our health is not where it should be. So if we're given the opportunity and we're given the body to be able to enjoy life, why would we not take advantage of that? And so what I believe that CrossFit does is not just that physical side of it, of taking care of our bodies, but the mental side of it too. It's given us friends. It's given us family, a much larger family base. It's given us so much joy that we never, I don't want to say never, but we might not have had otherwise. So the best part about owning or leading the gym, which also doubles as the hardest part, is the connections made with so many people. It's given me the opportunity to make these connections and make these connections on a deeper level. I hear the best parts of people's lives, and we hear the worst parts of people's lives. And our job is to make sure that we are still giving people the best hour of their day, and to make sure they know that we're here, and to make sure that they know that we're not going anywhere, and that we are here to love them, to support them, to encourage them, and that's never leaving.
So one of the best parts about kind of owning and leading the gym with my wife is just the opportunity on a day-to-day basis for me to get to see how much love and care that she puts into each day's work. She's really getting to do something that she enjoys and loves, and obviously it shows with our members and with what she's able to do on a day-to-day basis there. Obviously I do a lot of small things on the back end that don't oftentimes get seen, but that's perfectly fine with me. I'd rather hang in the shadows sometimes. But yeah, really just getting to see her take ownership of something that she's super passionate about is, something I would obviously want to ever have anybody see and be able to do so.
So where do we see CrossFit Albemarle in 5 years? In 5 years, we will have a 5-year-old, which is wild. But where I see it in 5 years is us bringing this 5-year-old into the gym and able to raise a child with so many people that we love and care for so much. CrossFit Albemarle is going to continue to take over the county. This is where people are going to come if they need to better their health and wellness. No questions asked. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to thrive. We are going to continue to touch people's lives and to maximize quality of life for the next 5 years and beyond.
We love
you, CrossFit Albemarle.